Greetings, everyone. I am Deji. With me today is my good friends at SCWRM. Pedro.
Hello.
Tio.
Yay, another takeover.
And new to the channel, Dwibs.
Hi there.
Alright, so this game came out last year. It was published by Forever Entertainment and developed by Megapixel Studio.
With basically a we're okay with this by Sega.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is what they've been doing a lot. Since they're also approved Streets of Rage 4, the remake of Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap.
Actually, that I don't
and
even
then the
know.
Alex Kid.
Okay, I'm a bit behind with the times, but didn't Sega lost the license for the Wonder Boy AP?
No, it was always theirs.
Okay, then.
I think they never owned Toe Jam and Earl. That's probably what you're thinking of.
Ah, okay.
And I think, don't quote me on this, but I don't think they own Vector Man, or that rights is so convoluted.
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I know there was a dispute between them and Konami, between, who owned Frogger. So that was interesting. Yes, even though it was clearly Konami owning the fucking MP, there was a time where Sega actually had a bit of a dispute, because if I recall correctly, there was a port on the Sega Genesis that was internally developed by them. But I'll search it for another time. Which version of the game you're doing?
The Switch version?
Do you even think that the version I'm playing is on Switch.
Okay.
Do you even think that Konami remembers that they own Frogger now?
I wonder, actually.
It's like Square Enix not.
No, wait, Tiago.
To be fair, Dad, they did remember the other day they owned Getsu Fuma. Then that is a start at least.
And it's like Square Enix not remembering they own IDOS IPs that aren't named Tomb Raider.
Like Marco's Magic Football.
Well, to be fair, who does remember that other than you?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So, what's the story of these? Because I don't have that much exposure to the franchise.
Basically, Dragon Rider trying to stop Evil Dragon. Evil Dragon kills Dragon Rider. Our new protagonist, or the guy we're following, is just caught in a crossfire, and the dying Rider's like, please stop the Virgil from trying to take over the world. He must not reach the tower.
Stop.
You go stop him. The end.
Well, okay then.
The plot is mostly an excuse for the gameplay, because this is a very classic type of Sega game, very arcade-minded.
Well, again, this is a recreation of initial FMV, if I understand correctly, which means that at the time there was a lot of ambition, in showcasing the power of the Saturn.
Oh yeah, there was. I mean, all the Panzer Dragoon games were big showcases for the Saturn. Especially considering at the time, just the fact that we were seeing FMVs on our consoles was mind blowing. So of course people. Nowadays when you watch these cutscenes now, even on this remake, they look nice and all, but the wow factor is no longer there. So the fact that very little plot substance exists is more exposed, basically.
So instead, who did the music?
It was the composer for the later games.
Yeah, like Horda and stuff.
Yeah. So, and honestly, it's probably the most high production value part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately. Because this game, I understand it's made by an indie studio, and it's like, they didn't have much of a budget, but it's amazing how this game looks cheaper than a game that was released on the original Xbox with Orta.
Mm-hmm.
Laser! Oh, I guess it was more of a missile.
Sure, why not? And he's dead.
He dead.
Kinda goes down like a chump.
Well, that was Panzer Dragoon Remake. What are your final thoughts, guys?
What a short tech demo.
Man, the fact that people spent $20 on this and they were disappointed about it, I don't blame them.
I mean, damn. I reckon they probably crippled Sega's recent strategy heavily with this. And they're gonna be like, seriously, you had us let you do a Panzer Dragoon remake, and the most you give him is a terrible intro cutscene. I mean, it'd be like if like the next Professor Layton game with Layton in it is just Layton basically getting shot by basically getting shot in the head by Don Paolo, and he just moons at you, and then
I think that would be a bit too dark for Professor Layton does.
No. And then it'll be like Watchmen, and you're trying to figure out who killed Layton, and then you see things from everybody else's perspective, and you realize, maybe Professor Layton isn't really such a good guy. He probably deserved to.
Nah, that works for Watchmen. It will not work for Layton. I can tell you that.
I know.
You see, guys, it turns out that behind the scenes, Layton actually hated everybody and everything, and he was always drunk.
Hell, one of the big highlights of the Lady Layton era is how it completely avoids the trappings of the Apollo Justice game, of making Layton look like
making everybody worse characters.
But basically, that thing where in Apollo Justice where they turn Phoenix into a washed up.
Oh no! But don't you see, Pedro? It was such a deep. It was such a unique take the character.
Yeah, it was so unique it was so unique that they scrapped it in the next game.
Yeah, because they realized, oh wait, no one liked it, and then the first case was basically taking a dump on Ace Attorney 4.
Anyway, so what's the control scheme like here?
Basically, it's an on-rail shooter game like Star Fox, just not as good. But there's two types of ways, technically three types of ways of playing it. You have the traditional controls, which is you use your left analog stick to control the drag. The wyvern, because I know T.O. prefers that instead.
It's not me preferring with that, with an objective factor.
You're subjectively wrong.
Subject to this.
You use the D-pad to control the reticule, which I don't like, and you use A and B to just fire. You also use the right analog stick, or trigger button, whatever it's called, to control the cameras, because you can turn in 360 degrees. Whoop! And then you have the modern gameplay style, which I didn't like. And there's also gyro controls. But personally, I prefer I could use my right analog stick to control the reticule, because that would make things so much easier. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pedro, you have experience with this franchise. What's your take on it?
I do. I played the original back in the day. All of them, actually. Basically, it's one of those good old-fashioned arcade shoot 'em up guys. Again, unfortunately, unlike Star Fox, like Deji was saying, it didn't age quite as gracefully, which is one of the big reasons why people were excited for this remake, because now it could actually fix those issues. Unfortunately, they retain mostly the controls. This is one of those cases where people they shouldn't have kept the controls faithful to the original. Unfortunately, they did. And as a result, a lot of the same warts that the original Saturn game has nowadays are still present here.
I am so terrified for that Alex Kidd remake, because, since I was recently playing Wonder Boy, the game is so beautiful and whatnot, but unfortunately, you can swap between graphics new and old, which means that it's technically the same game 1-to-1 with all its jank. And it's really frustrating, and I know that the Alex Kidd remake is doing the same thing, so it's like, oh no.
Well, it depends. If they're just importing the old graphics into the new engine, that could still work. I mean, It depends on what they're doing exactly with it. Like if they're indeed just just the fact that they have new graphics mean that they're using a new engine. Now, if they choose to just import the old sprites and background art into the new engine, then they could just have the new engine and the new gameplay power-up things. And
I mean, I hope there's some quality of life changes, and that's wind up being frustrated.
Again, if all the visual switching style does is just change the visuals per se, but the actual game underneath is the same, that could work.
Yeah.
That's, if I remember correctly, that's what Halo Anniversary did.
And here's our first boss, a battleship. And you know what we do with battleships? We sink them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or sit through a mediocre 90-minute movie.
Deji, I wish Battleship was only 90 minutes long.
I don't know how long it was.
It's over 2 hours.
Oh my god, it was 2 hours. Jesus Christ. It felt like an eternity.
Yeah, well, but Deji, that's what happens with Michael Bay-esque movies.
No. Here's the thing. At least with Michael Bay films, they're at least entertaining. They might not be good, but there's still a degree of, I can enjoy this because it's stupid.
I failed to realize how Revenge of the Fallen is entertaining.
Okay, Deji, I will agree with stuff like
Bad
The
Boys.
Rock. Not really 1 or 2. I say more 3. That one I didn't have in at all, really. Except for a cameo. And to an extent, the first Transformers movie, and because he was a producer, Bumblebee. But
he was also a producer for the TMNT films.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed those two. But anything else,
his company made that Door movie.
But anything else, I either haven't seen yet, or are either films of such shining quality as Revenge of the Fallen and The Last Night.
Okay, so Revenge of the Fallen was not his fault.
It wasn't, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still terrible.
Oh yeah. It's still a bad movie, but it's like it was during the writer's strike, and he had to write the script by himself.
I actually enjoyed 4 the best, the 4th movie of those of that series in particular. Like
Pedro, you know what we have to do.
Because Transformers 4 replaced Shia LaBeouf with Mark Wahlberg, who's a far more charismatic action protagonist to have than Shia LaBeouf. Fuck. So.
Shia LaBeouf. Well, I mean,
that's a Marcos joke right there.
Well, I mean, if it's true about
that's
these,
not an insult.
Well, Pedro, if it's true about those allegations, then
the Shia LaBeouf thing that's been a thing on the internet for years at this point, so it's not like.
I thought that was something you came up with. I was like,
I don't even know what he's doing these days anyway. See you for the next part.
See ya.
Yep. Bye.